What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today we're going to be looking at Maximus the Confessor, Ambiguum 16, where he comments on difficulties in the Church Fathers, and namely difficulties in Gregory the Theologian, because they're like all about Gregory the Theologian, because he's very confusing for weak minds like myself. So in Oration 28 of chapter 9 he says, "But if we say that God is incorporeal, this term neither represents nor contains the divine essence. The same is true of unbegotten, beginningless, immutable, incorruptible. Indeed, whatever is said concerning God or the things around God." Or it could be translated as God's environment, is how New Advent translates it in Gregory the Theologian and John of Damascus. Or I guess Philip Schaff. So yeah, obviously Gregory the Theologian is very clear, is that terms like unbegotten, they do not represent the divine essence, because the divine essence is beyond all contemplation. It's unnameable, it's above every name. So something like unbegotten cannot represent or contain the divine essence. And the passage was being addressed to the Eunomians, who do believe unbegotten is the essence. And they did this in a last hope to basically say the Son is begotten, therefore the Son does not share the same essence as the Father. But unbegotten signifies only that the Father is without origin. If they say that this is the essence, then also incorporeal is the essence, immortal is the essence, and the result, and then they would be exposed for introducing many essences of God. Because if each of them is an essence, then they're all essences. And then he moves on to affirmations and negations. So alpha primitives or negations that are contemplated around something are not the thing itself. Otherwise, they would surely be among the things signifying what the thing is, as being the very same thing, and not signifying what the thing is. Whole load of signification there, but he's saying, okay, obviously if something is contemplated around, then it is not the thing itself. So if you are contemplating God and you're contemplating that he is unbegotten, because that's around the thing itself, it's not the thing itself, is what he says. And he says, otherwise, if they were the thing itself, it would be among the items that actually signify what the thing is. And it would be the very same thing. It wouldn't be signifying what the thing is. It would be the very same thing. And that's why the Eunomians have to say, if they say unbegotten is the essence, then when you're thinking about unbegotten, you're thinking about the essence. And then, because I understand what unbegotten means, does that mean I understand the essence? Okay. Negations now. So if this were true, then negations prove to be the definition of things of which they are predicated, which is absurd and impossible. Definitions are not based on what does not constitute their existence, but on what does constitute their existence. So if he says unbegotten is identical to the essence, and you're thinking about to define the essence, you call it unbegotten, yeah? Then he's saying what you're doing is you're confusing negations and affirmations. You're acting like saying he's unbegotten is an affirmation. When you're saying he's unbegotten, all you're saying is that he does not have beginning. You're not saying anything about his beginning besides the fact he does not have beginning. But if you think this is some sort of affirmation or definition, then he's calling the Eunomians idiots, because by definition negations do not give any positive definition. They just, like process of elimination. He's not this, he's not this, he's not this. It's not saying what he is. And then finally, to finish off, because at the end of Gregory of the Theologians quote here, he says, "Indeed, whatever is said concerning God or the things around God." How can there be things around God if God is absolutely simple? And Maximus the Confessor talks about it. He says, whatever is said about God or the things around God can never be the essence of God. For not even a positive affirmation, devoid of all relation and detachment from the energy around a thing, is able to manifest that the thing according to what it is in essence. Okay, so this is his idea of around the things of around God would be referring to the energies, because he's saying here that you can't say anything, you can't give a positive affirmation to the essence, yeah, But if you do give a positive affirmation, which we do, and Scripture does, Scripture calls God good, but he is saying you can't give any positive affirmation of the essence. Unnecessarily, then, it would be referring to the things around God, or at least their effects. Like goodness unto creation and stuff like that. Maximus's Ambiguum number 34 goes into much more detail, and I'll definitely do a video on that as well. But yeah, this is mainly about the negation and affirmations around Gregory of Nazianzus' Oration 20 verse 9, about how if everything indicates the divine essence or signifies or is absolutely identical with the divine essence, then he says this is absurd because by definition things that are, negations, they're not the thing itself, but they're only contemplations around it, and they're not even signifying it, because they're just negating something from you. They're not making any positive definition. And if you say they're making a positive definition, well, it's absurd because negations aren't definitions. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it, and I'll do a video on Ambiguum 34 because that goes into great detail as well. So thank you guys very much for watching. Check out my Ambiguum number 34 when it's out, and thank you guys for watching, and God bless, and stay prayed up. Trust.